you're new here, this is my channel where I talk about all of my knitting, crochet, cross stitching, sewing, any kind of adventure in the craft world that I get involved in. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. This is my September video, hopefully anyway, that I uploaded in time. I had so many editing issues with my other video until I figured it out, but fingers crossed that this one will be seamless. So it is currently September 24th and it is almost 8 o'clock at night. So I'm sorry if the lighting is not great, but it was really hard to find time to record this video. I have had so much to share. So everything that I'm sharing will be from stuff that I've been waiting to share since the end of August. So yeah, work just got kind of crazy really fast. I went back to work and it's just been busy, and my other video really threw me for a loop because I spent a week trying to figure out how to upload it. I was getting errors, it wasn't rendering. So if you're someone that's using software that's giving you an issue with your videos and you're using a new phone, I found out that our phones now record videos in such high quality that are also super compressed files. And it's apparently some video editing software has a really hard time with a lot of these new file types that phones are using to be able to compress high quality videos and not use up like all of the space on the phone. So for example, I use Sony Vegas Pro to edit my videos and it wasn't having any of it. And weirdly enough, I got away with like 2 videos on my new phone. Before my most recent video, it was refusing to render and let me do anything with it until I converted it. So anywho, that was a really weird tangent. Anywho, work has been great. I have a great class of 24 kindergartners this year. They're their usual crazy self, but I feel like I got everything. Well, I don't want to say everything. I feel like I got what I prayed for. I have a class that I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a break from. So if you don't know, I co-taught as a special education kindergarten teacher for 8 years with one of my colleagues, and this year, just because of the way funding worked and the number of kindergartners we were getting in, we couldn't fund 2 special education classes. So I am teaching what's called general education this year. So there are not identified students with special needs in my class. And I say like this because a lot of children don't go to pre-K, and so you get them in kindergarten and they might have something going on, but you just don't know yet. So it's always a mixed bag. You never know what you're going to get. But so far, it's been great. They are really lovely. I'm having a good time. I'm having fun. I hate to say I'm kind of enjoying teaching by myself. It is really amazing to have another adult there to bounce ideas off of, and safety-wise, it's 2 of you with 24 kids, rather 1 of you and 24. But I'm having a really great time with my students this year. And that's all I really have to say on that. Crafting, of course, because I've been going back to work, has been on, I don't want to say a decline. I'm trying to get at least an hour in every day, which on some days I do, some days I don't. Like today I probably won't because I'm deciding to record my video instead. And I have been trying to make it to my weekly knitting group at least every week. And that's been nice because I think I will also try to bring my cross stitching in here and there. And that will definitely help me get some progress. And I've been at least bringing 1 knitting project for sure to my staff meetings so that I can just keep my hands busy. And so I've been getting a lot of progress done on some of my socks, which is great. Anywho, I really think that's about it in terms of life update. I kind of have a really plain life. I hate to say it that way, but nothing exciting ever really happens. Yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm excited for the fall weather. I have my little pumpkin shirt on. I had it on a few weeks ago in my class, and one of my students was like, "Why are you wearing a pumpkin shirt? It's not fall time yet." And they were so right, but I was just really ready for fall. So I am excited. I think I do hear it is raining right now, which is really good. We really need the rain here in New York City. And yeah, that's about it. Okay, I will start sharing about my projects. Woo! So this was supposed to just be a new start that I was going to share, but it's actually a finish. And I am hoping to get it FFO'd because, oh gosh, I don't want to say. Okay, I won't say. But I'm hoping to get it FFO'd. So this is by Lindy Stitches. And I think it was just called, I don't have the chart. Oh, I do. I have one of my little cards. It's called Pumpkin All the Things by Lindy Stitches. And I'm stitching this on a 14 count, kind of oatmeal Ida. I just had it left over, 2/1. And it's all done. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm back. But it wasn't really like me going away for you guys. So it was funny because my fiance just hobbled over, and if you don't follow me on Instagram or other places, I guess, we had a fun time at the ER. I guess I'm going back to my life update instead of talking about my project. And we found out he has sciatica, and that really freaking sucks because he's just been in pain for like a week now. And that really sucks. So he was just hobbling around. Poor guy. Anywho, here goes again. My finish. So pumpkin spice all the things. And I decided for this little project to just kind of play around with a lot of these fancy flosses that I've gotten at retreats. I almost never, not that I don't find a reason to use them. I have a hard time using them just randomly because I'm such a by the book person that what the pattern says is what I tend to stitch and tend to use. But for the kind of green color, I use this Threadworks. And a lot of these I've gotten at like retreats or exchanges. And this one, it just has a number for the color. So 01048 for this green. And then for the kind of pumpkin-y orangey color, I used this Color and Cotton. I was in their thread club for a really long time. And in their fabric club. And this is in Tiger Lily, which was just like perfect. And then I think I got this, I think I might have gotten this at the freebie table at Stitch North. So this is hand dyed by Rolanda, which I've never used before. And this is in the colorway Ruby Whisper. I know I really need to cut my nails. And so these three colors together were really, really nice. And then I think on the leaf, in the flower, I just used a regular DMC because it wasn't all that much. So I really do like that. So yay, a finish. And hopefully it'll be FFO'd, and depending on it, I might like insert a video clip in my future video to show you what I ended up doing with it, but I will definitely post it on my Instagram for sure. So that was a cross stitching finish. And I do have another finish, but it's a knitting finish. And it's my only knitting project that I'm going to be showing this video. So I think I'm going to finish up with my cross stitching, and then I'll show you guys my knitting finish. It's not blocked yet. I'm hoping to block it sometime this week or this weekend, because this one is going to be a gift. So the next project that I want to share with you guys is my Nesteros piece. So this is my Game of Mushroom Kingdoms, and I am stitching this on 28 count Ice Blue Lugana 2/110 stitch. And this project, it was just on my BAP rotation. So on my BAP rotations, I give each BAP 20 hours on a timer. And when those 20 hours are done, I switch it out to my next BAP for a little bit and then keep rotating all of my super big projects that way. And so this one is going along pretty great. I just love it. So I think the last time you guys saw it, I was still stitching over here in this area. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I am. And so I was over here somewhere. And so I finished all of this blue and all of the rest of this green and brown on this edge. So I made it all the way to the side. And I think this is only 1, 2 panels down. but I think it's like 4 or 5 panels across, and now I'm on the 3rd panel down. Though actually that looks like 3, because if this is 1 panel, it might be 1, 2, 3. So I'm on the 4th maybe. I have to check. But this piece is in 2 PDFs. This is by Servotron on Sprite Stitch. It's a free pattern. You can get it yourself. There are 2 different versions of it that have to do with, is it pike? So there'll be 2 different ones. I'm doing the one that has the, oh my god, the blooper. I think that's what it's called. I'm so excited to be down here. So I can't wait for this to come back in rotation again, but I am glad to have a little break from it. I did have a little mistake on this area, and it's really not noticeable. It was in the blue, so unless you're looking at it too close, you won't know. And either way, then you're too close to it, and maybe you shouldn't be so close to it. Anywho, I love this. 10 stitch goes really fast. I don't think I will ever start another full coverage piece in full cross ever again. Big ones anyway. Small ones, sure, but not any of these big projects, because there's just not enough time. Let's be real. There's so much I want to do, and there's just not enough time. And this was in my Shiba Designs bag, which I love. I love these ones with the vinyl front, because for my ADHD brain, like if I keep it in a bag like this, which this one had my little pumpkin spice project, but it was small, so I was traveling with it. I actually did some stitching on this by the pool this summer, and I got a lot done. I think that's actually where I finished my pumpkin spice project. But if I can't see what's in it, it doesn't exist anymore. So this one is perfect, and of course it has cats on it. I can see what's in it, and that makes it so much easier for me to see what to work on. But I do have some bags that don't have vinyl fronts, and I love them. Don't get me wrong. I just forget what's in them. My next whip that I like to show is my Homely Houseplant Sow by Stitchonomy on Etsy. So I believe this was a sow that was out in 2020 when everyone was going crazy and getting houseplants, and I'm still in the crazy houseplant world right now. I don't have as many as I used to have. So I used to have like almost 47, 50 plants, but as they've been dying, I haven't been replacing them, and I haven't been buying new plants, which has been great. So I think I'm down to like 34-ish plants. I don't really count the plants that I have in my classroom, which is just 4 right now, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Anywho, I'm doing this on just some 14 count white Ida that I had, 2/1, and I actually did like a double rotation on this because this was from my whip wheel rotation. So I'm trying to hit at least 5 hours on all of my whips this year. And this one I just put on for a double because I was just having so much fun with it. So I'll show you where I got. And it is just so cute. It's easy stitching. It's fun. It's gratifying right away. And there's a part 2. And my friend Deb from Stitch the Stash made me like a little flat fold of one of the plants from the Stitch Along. And so that got me thinking, like, you could just stitch one plant if you want. You don't have to stitch the whole thing. Anyway, I think last time I showed this, which was a really long time ago, I was just on the snake plant. So I finished the fiddly fig. Oh wait, I take that back. I showed it a few videos ago. So I think the fiddly fig and my pothos was already there. Thank goodness for my notes. I've been trying to keep notes this year. And so the new plants would be this little aloe and the start of the begonia. I love it. And I think I'm doing the modern pots. So there's like 3 different versions you can pick depending on how you want the pots for the plants to look, which is really cool. Love this project. Seeing it again makes me want to toss it in a rotation again, but I really want to try to get to all my whips this year. At least 5 hours touching all of them would be great. I am really, really close. I'll have to look at where I'm at, and if I remember, I'll try to insert the number that I've gotten to versus how many I have altogether. I don't have that many whips, actually. I say I don't have that many. In comparison to some other folks that I watch and that I admire, I do not have that many. I want to say I have like 15, 20 whips or so. Combined cross-stitching, knitting. I guess I'd have to put my quilts in there too, but it really isn't that bad. It could be worse. Not to throw any shade on folks that have a lot of whips. That is fine. I actually admire that. I just can't do that many. And I also admire people that are monogamous stitchers like my mom. So folks that can just work on one project, that is also amazing. My last BAP whip that I want to share an update on is my epic Pokemon piece by Lord Libidin that you can find on his website and also on Sprite Stitch. There are many versions of this epic Pokemon piece. I am doing the Gen 1 that is using the original sprites from the Red, Blue, and Green games. So not the Fire Red, Leaf Green, and there was another one, the Emerald one. So these are the original sprites. I've been putting this on a Focus Friday rotation because it is so close to being done that I've been saying every Friday I'm going to work on my epic Pokemon piece until it's finished because it is just that close. I've been doing it on Fridays only because I tend to burn out really quick and I can get like really easy finish-itis. So I'll get towards the end of something and then I'll just abandon it and not want to finish it. So I'm hoping the Fridays have been working. Sometimes it's been on Saturday because I've been busy on Fridays. Like for example, this Friday I was at the ER with my fiance and so I did my Pokemon on Saturday. Or another night we played Mario Party and that was great. So get ready because it is really close and I know some folks have been like, why aren't you just finishing it? And I do have a method to this madness. I know when you see it, you think I should just finish it, but I know myself. And I know that if I just push through it, I'm not going to finish it. I will abandon it and leave it with like a little square and just leave it there. I'm also very behind on the white stitching on this project because I used to stream on Twitch. If you don't know, that's where I started originally. I was a Twitch cross-stitching streamer. That's actually where I met my fiance. It's really crazy. And so when I would stitch this on stream, I would skip the white because who wants to watch you stitch white on white? Like, it's so boring. Anywho. Okay, guys, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, I'm gonna like go from the bottom. All right, here we go. I promise that it will make its way. I did not remove the hoop for a reason. Yes, I know. That is all that is left. I'm not joking. I know, it's crazy when I look at it. It's like a column and a half. Let me see, 2.5 columns. And I know that if I push through it, I will just leave it unfinished. So there is this tiny, tiny corner that will get done. I promise. Hopefully my next video, I already have the plans for my next video, but if this manages to be finished by my next video, it will be a bonus piece added in. And I have to say, I've already bought the fabric for Gen 2, so that is happening, but I'm promising myself to finish this one first. This is 2/110, so, you know, if you're ever worried about tent stitching, look at this. You will not know. I mean, some little spots you can tell just because the lines are a little funky, but you really won't know. The coverage is great. This is on 28 count. It's some really horrible Michael stuff. You can tell it's old because I would never use the tape again because it really discolored all of my edges. I still haven't pulled out this little yellow from the top from when I thought I would stitch the yellow background. I love this piece. It's almost there. It really is. I joked one time that it was like 5 years old, but it's more than that. I will try to find the actual date, and if I remember, I'll pop it in. But I cannot wait for it to be done, and I know I'm crazy for embarking on Gen 2, but it is what it is. I cannot believe it. I know. I look at the corner. Look at the back. The back is crazy. I am not about a neat back. I'm all about the messy back. There are knots. I skip, but that is a beautiful hoop butt. I love it. I love it. Just seeing it made me want to work on it, but I know I'm going to wait for its time. Okay. I know that's a hard one to follow, but I have a finish. So I have a knitting finish, and this is going to be a gift for my niece. My niece is super tiny. She's turning 6 in a few days, and she wears like 3T. So she's really petite, really tiny child that when I was knitting this, my friends were like, is this for a baby? And I was like, no. This is the Norwegian fur cardigan. You can find it on Ravelry. I used Malabrigo Rios in Almond Blossom for this. And it is so cute. I want one for me. I think I made the 6 to 7-year-old size. So I actually made a size that should fit her as a 6-year-old, but it's not. So she will definitely have room to grow. I love it. It definitely needs a good wash on a block. I know that everyone says Malabrigo will stretch like crazy when you wash it, but it's also dryable. So my thought is I'll let her know that she can wash it or hand wash it, but then just throw it in the dryer on low with like a towel. That's my plan. And the sleeves roll up or roll down. I haven't posted this on my Instagram yet because I do want it to be a little bit of a surprise. I did post the updates of it, but I don't know if my sister-in-law ever really connects the stuff that she's seeing with being a gift. The button I picked up at Webb's when I went to Massachusetts. So this was just a really lovely garter stitch cardigan with a little bit of lace. There is a little mistake here. I purled or whatever and did stockinette, but you really cannot tell on the other side all that much. Now that I mentioned it, of course I can see it, but I know that they will not notice it all that much. And I had a lot of fun with a label because she is in elementary school here in New York City, and I won't show the back of it because I will keep her name private, but I did put one of these little made under moonlight tags for her, and I put her name, first and last name, because I'm a teacher and I know there could be another person with that name in her school. Who would have thought? So, and I know how important it is to label your child's items. So if you are a parent, it doesn't matter if they're in pre-K or in high school, put their name on their stuff. It's the best chance, and even their classroom number, best chance of getting the stuff that you lost back. Hats, everything, mittens, water bottle, everything. That's the way our PTA does it, and our other volunteers, if it has a name and a class number on it, they deliver it to my room, and it makes it easy. And also, there are so many kids with the same bluey water bottle. Like, we have like 3 kindergartners at lunch, all have the same water bottle in different classes, and sometimes by accident, they drink from somebody else's water bottle, which is not great. But yeah, label your kid's stuff. But isn't this great? I love the color. She wanted pink. She loves pink right now. But I didn't want it to scream pink, and I thought this was perfect. Originally, I wanted to go with like a cherry blossom kind of button. I don't know if it'll show up, but this button does actually have like a kind of little, I don't know if it'll focus. It's like on my face and on my ugly nails that need to be cut. It has like a little flower. So I love it. And it's like a dusty pink. Not overly pink, so she'll definitely have room to grow in it. And that was my update. I do have a lot of other stuff to show, but I do need to cut it because I just get all ADD. But I will do a little bit of a book update. So because I've been back at work, I have not been so diligent with my reading. It's hard to read at night now, so I just try to get a chapter in. And depending how sleepy I am, it's either a chapter or 10 minutes. So whichever one seems more sustainable in the moment, because sometimes I'm reading books that my Kindle, so I alternate between paper books and Kindle books, and sometimes my Kindle book is like, the chapter is a half hour long, and I'm like, that's not happening tonight. So I'll alternate between a chapter or 10 minutes, and sometimes I get another chapter in it. It really depends. But I finally finished Fire and Blood. So I did start reading this when House of the Dragon season 1 started. I got it towards the end of the season. Ooh, excuse me. And I just finished it recently. It's another one of those funny books. I talked about it in one of my last videos where if I just was a monogamous reader, so just like my crafting, I'm not a monogamous reader. I read about 9-10 books at a time. Whatever I'm feeling that day, I pick it up and I read it. Yeah, so if I would have, the tracker I used said that if I would have just stuck to this book monogamously, I would have finished it in, I think it was something like 48 or 58 days. And instead, it took me like 350 something days since I logged my first page read to my last page read. So it's crazy. Anywho, I really found parts of this a drag. The beginning was a drag. The parts that House of the Dragon were based off of weren't so much of a drag, but maybe because I was able to relate it to the TV show. And then some of the parts after were pretty interesting. And then the end, I'm sorry, dragged. I mean, I did like it. It was just a hard read for me. So I couldn't read it as fast as I wanted to. Kind of how I feel about Wheel of Time and Robert Jordan. I really am a lot slower with these types of books. But I am looking forward to some of his other books that he's done. So I will be picking up some of those really soon. I don't have the book anymore of the other book that I finished. But I'll put a picture of it. Anywho, I've been embarking on recent years of like either rereading books that I was told to read in school, and I did not like being told what to read because I feel like reading should be joyful and you shouldn't be assigned books. So I resisted reading books I was assigned because I just was in a mood. So I've been reading through books that way. That's why I read Island of the Blue Dolphins. That was assigned to me in school and I refused to read it. I really enjoyed it. So it's really funny because my favorite book is Pride and Prejudice, which was assigned to me in high school. I refused to read it. I somehow crawled by my AP class about it. And then I read it in college and was like, this is my favorite book. And it's still high up there. I watched the BBC miniseries all the time. I watched the 2005 Keira Knightley version. I love Pride and Prejudice. I love Jane Austen. Don't get me started. Anywho, so I'll read books that I was supposed to read in school, and I've also been reading through books of my childhood that just bring me joy, or that I wanted to read in my childhood and just didn't get around to. So I am reading through The Babysitter's Club by Anne M. Martin, and sometimes I fit in some of these books when I need kind of like a brain book cleanser. So maybe I just read something really intense, or I just need something easy and silly. And so I've been rereading through some of these books, and it's interesting. I read a lot of them as a young girl, and I really enjoyed them. And there's nothing wrong with them now. I also have to remember when I'm reading this, like, who the target audience is. And they're okay. And I also have never read them in order, and I didn't realize, I guess when you're young, you just take out whatever you get from the library or whatever's in your school's library or in your classroom. So it was interesting to see, like, they actually kind of go in order. And so this is the first time I'm reading through it like that. So I'm reading books that I've never read before from the Babysitter's Club, and this was a book series that I read a lot of them. And I've also been doing this with Goosebumps, and with all the Beverly Cleary books, also because Beverly Cleary is just really close to my heart for her Ramona Quimby books, which I would just aspire all little girls to be out of the box and not let people put them in a box. And I love the way she writes about Ramona. And speaking of that, I had a child in my class last year that was named after Ramona from the books. She didn't go by that name. By the end of the year, she did, and it filled my heart. And when I met with the parents, they actually shared that they did name her after the child from the books, and she was just exactly like her. She was like dusty, loved to get dirty, really questioned authority, and was just an out-of-the-box, amazing, brilliant kid, and I loved it. Anywho, that is about it. So before I keep on rambling more, I hope everybody had a great September. If you are in the fall season now, I hope you're enjoying all your fall things. I love pumpkin spice. I don't care. Like, everyone's bashing it and getting on people. Let people enjoy things that bring them joy. I'm enjoying pumpkin spice stuff as much as I can right now. I don't care. It's delicious. I like it. I don't care if it's not really pumpkin or whatever. It's fun. And let people have fun things. So if you are in the fall, enjoy fall. If you're crafting, enjoy your crafting. And I will see you guys hopefully soon, because I do, like I said, I have another video worth of stuff to share. So I will see you guys in my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.